The Tampa Bay Rays took a big step toward leaving their current baseball home. The plan centers in an area of Tampa already familiar to sports fans. Take a look.
Get your inaugural season opening day program.
The year was 1998. St. Pete's Tropicana Field was then the Florida Suncoast Dome, and the team taking the mound was named the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Fast forward to 2026, and a lot has changed since that first pitch. The Trop has undergone multiple renovations, including a new roof blown off by Hurricane Milton in 2024. And the team we now know as the Tampa Bay Rays looks as though it will move across the bay to Tampa. The Hillsborough College Board of Trustees on Tuesday unanimously approved a non-binding memorandum of understanding with the Rays. Together, they will pursue a redevelopment partnership of the college's 113-acre Dale Mabry campus.
We will work alongside the partners at the county, and those commissioners will work alongside the city, will work alongside the Sports Authority and all other bodies towards making this a success.
The land is located near Tampa International Airport, just steps away from Raymond James Stadium, George Steinbrenner Field, and the Yankees spring training facility. The memorandum outlines 3 key parts of the project: a new Major League Baseball stadium, a mixed-use land development, and new facilities for Hillsborough College. The property itself would remain in the hands of Hillsborough College and would be leased to the Rays for no less than 99 years.
We're already in need of over $50 million in renovation on the Dale Mabry campus now. Think about the workforce development effort, the partnership, 12,000 new jobs.
The memorandum does not provide funding details, including whether taxpayers will be asked to foot some of the bill. The two sides have 180 days to exclusively negotiate and vote on a final agreement. The Rays are set to return to St. Pete's Tropicana Field on April the 6th and expected to play there for 3 more seasons. And Ray, your reporters at Creative Loafing have been covering the Rays for years. Is this good news, or is this more news that will not result in change?
It depends if you like the movie Groundhog Day, right? The timing, I think, with Hillsborough Community College dropping community from its name is something. But I'm just thinking about the headlines that we're going to get, right? You mentioned our columnist Thomas Halleck in 23. He really drew this line between newspaper headlines, TV spots that really endorse these bad deals, right? Why? We love watching sports. It's good content, right? But the Columbia Journalism Review has drawn this direct correlation between reporters kind of giving way too much credence to these economic impact studies that say what the subsidies will do, and then the subsidies passing. So I'm worried about that. But we got a letter from a reader who's a professor there, and he wanted to focus on the students, right? If this thing takes 5 to 6 years, that's 3 full cohorts of students. Where are they going to class? Are they in trailers? These developments, I know Vic has this MOU here, but we need details. Like your spot said, do we know that these jobs are going to be permanent, full-time, long-lasting? Are they going to be able to afford to live there, to eat there, to do that? So if we can put the focus back on the students, and I know that the Rays ownership has said that they do, but we need details on that. What are the traffic and environmental impacts, and really put the students at the center of this, then maybe Dr. Atwater will look like a guy who really pulled out a win here. Because if they really want this stadium, they can really give us some stuff. So,
Victor, you were at the meeting. Your thoughts?
Well, when you asked me to be on the show, I went, and this is the MOU. I mean, it's very thin. It's got a lot of platitudes in there, but there's no details. So I went to see what happened, and it was a 5-minute discussion. Nobody asked a question. They just boom, rubber stamped it, and it was done. So now, and then of course I went to the press conference afterwards, which most of the questions were going to the ownership of the baseball team, because they're the ones driving the train, they have 6 months to turn this into a very thick product, and we'll see what it says. My concern is this. I did, when the Buccaneers came around, remember we passed the CIT tax.
The Community Investment Tax,
and
yes.
Having been chair of the Industrial Development Board, I know you can borrow the money for this, but what Chase, JP Morgan Chase went, who's going to pay the nut every month, just like buying a house?
Correct.
So that the CIT tax passed the and we just really re-upped it. We upped it for 15 years.
That's right.
And I heard that when I was fighting this thing at the City Hall for this pipe that's going down Howard, and that's going to cost $100 million for that. And the budget chief says, well, you know, we got the CIT tax, there's going to be $800 million from the county. But that $800 million, that CIT tax that we have in Hillsborough County, part of that's going to go to the Bucks.
It's already
part of
accounted for,
right.
correct?
Some goes to the city of Tampa, some goes to the city of Plant City, some goes to Tampa Terrace, some goes to the county, and then you've got the Rays, the Bucks, the Lightning. That pie is like shrunk now.
Right.
So what part of the pie is going to be left to pay for this? And the session's up there going on right now, as we talked about. There's no bill
No
saying
extra money
there's a
floating
rumor
around.
that the governor promised $150 million. I don't see it anywhere in the budget.
Well, people say a lot of things
Well,
when
and
you're
the other
in
problem is
session
this.
because they're looking for relevance, right?
You said
And
it.
they
You
make
said
claims.
something that's very important, and that is this is just feet away from the east-west runway, which was the original runway for the airport.
Correct.
You know, the FAA is real strict about height restrictions. The height of Raymond James is only about 200 feet. This thing's going to be another 100 feet high. So if you take all the school campus and jam all those buildings to the Lois and Columbus Drive, guess what? Now you're going to have 16-story buildings where all the campus is going to be, like the medical school downtown. And the Tropicana Field is noted for its weird roof.
Yes.
The only one in the NFL, if you hit a ring, you either hit a strike or you hit a home run, depending on which ring you hit. So it was built. We ran out of money when they built it. That's why the roof is slanted. So
I want to make sure I get Mark in here.
So
Mark,
there's a lot of issues.
what do you say about all this?
Well, I could argue either side of this until we know what the financing is. We don't know. But
Right.
the one thing I'd say, although it'd be great to have a sports complex, I would dread driving down Del Mabry because you're going to have so much traffic. Football's maybe on a Sunday for a part of the year. Spring training's part of the year. Baseball is almost all year round, and the traffic's going to be atrocious.
And,
where the kids
and
gonna
let's not
park?
forget that promises were made to the mayor of St. Pete, Mayor Ken Welsh,
correct.
where there were plans and economic impact studies done about rebuilding Tropicana Field and also bringing back the gas plant district, and what it just kind of disappeared. So what do we look for to make sure that that doesn't happen with this plan? What would be the signs?
That's an excellent
Well, I mean,
question.
you know, look, the parking is going to be a nightmare, like Mark says. And then the Bucks have just announced they want to spend $2.5 billion to do the same exact thing right across the street. So they've had the rights to do hotels, shops, restaurants, all that stuff around the stadium, and they've never done it. But now they are. So now across the street where the Rays are going to be, they're going to have hotel, shops, restaurants, and then you're going to have all these kids crammed in these high buildings. Where's everyone going to park? I mean, this is going to be a big issue. I talked to the tax collector yesterday. She's got a big piece of property. She didn't know anything about where the people are going to park for her office. So there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yeah.
The bottom line is how, and then, like I said, the other thing is two other parts is really important. Number one, the guy that owns the big owner of the Rays, Mr. Zalewski, his stock in his company, Dreamfinders Home,
The home builder, yes.
it dropped by 50% in the last 6 months, from 30 some dollars a share to $15 a share. So his wealth has shrunk. So his input in paying for this is going to be less. And the other part of this is the CIT tax. Like I said, what piece of the pie are they going to get there?
Right.
So these are things that are really serious questions that people have got to work out.